everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Into the Abyss. I'm your host, Leslie Martin, and we've got Grav, sort of.
Yeah, so my webcam is faulty, as evidenced by the last time we were on. Ordered a webcam off of Best Buy. I showed Leslie the text messages. FedEx kept coming to me and was like, hey, your package is going to be delayed by a day. They did this 3 times, and I'm just like, just give me the damn webcam. But last I heard of, it's on its way from Nashville over here, so I'm very excited.
Okay, well, you know what? It just stands to reason because so far, all of our shows have had at least one glitch. So we're consistent.
That's probably just my luck, honestly. It's happened with everything I've tried to do when it comes to online content creation.
No, I can totally see that. So how has your week been?
Honestly, pretty good. Can't complain at all. I did some Black Friday shopping because it seems like all the big box retailers were pulling out their Black Friday deals early.
I think they're doing that because a lot of the major retailers that used to be open on Thanksgiving this year are going to be closed.
Yeah, all that commercial space is going to be gone. The retail apocalypse has finally happened. It only took a pandemic. Do you remember the last time you've been in like a public space like that, like a mall? When was the last time you've been to a mall?
I went to a mall this year because I gained weight and I had to buy clothes. So there's this store, I don't know what it's called, but outside of the store, it has an awning, and everything that's in the store is $7.99 or less, and it's all clothing.
So the last time I went, I think I went in March, maybe like late February. I think this was like the week after we went to go see Sonic the Hedgehog in movie theaters.
Okay.
And then we were like, oh, okay, this is pretty good. This is pretty fun because it came out in Valentine's Day. And I asked my wife, what did she want to see? I think we were gonna pick between the Harley Quinn movie, maybe, or some other movie, and Sonic the Hedgehog. And she was like, I want to see Sonic. I was like, okay. So we watched it. It was pretty fun. But I think like the week after that, we went to the mall again just to like go shopping.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that was when it really started to hit everyone. Because normally Sundays when we go to the mall, that's the day that everyone is like really out there because you have a bunch of kids, right, and families out that go to malls on that day.
Right.
That was when all the anxiety started to hit, and the mall was at like maybe, I don't know, 60% capacity comparison to like 90. So it was crazy to see it play out in real time like that. And then I think like around that time, I think this was before there was like a specific weekend or whatever in mid-March where the pandemic really hit us here in Knoxville. So like, yeah, that was crazy times.
Yeah, most of the malls here, and at least in my area of Florida, have been dying or are dead. So that's not a big thing here. So what my big thing is, I've been binge watching a lot.
Oh yeah?
Like a lot. And a lot of stuff has dropped recently, and a lot of stuff is ending. And I think our guest for this week is the perfect person to have because of all that. And I'm going to introduce him with that. We have actor and former comedian Steve Gelder.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, I know you're in Florida. You're in Knoxville. It might be socially distant enough for you guys, but
yeah, I think we'll be okay. I don't think you're going to get the Rona from one of us through the podcast. But with our podcast, you never know.
You could catch almost anything. This is the annoying thing. One of the annoying things about this whole global pandemic. And hello, Leslie and Grav, great to be here. I have a favorite mask now.
Isn't
Like,
that a weird thing?
I don't have just one mask. I have several masks, and I have a favorite. And if I can use it when I go out for like the main shopping trips or whatever, it's my default. But I've got a couple. This is my going out to get the mail mask.
So why is it your favorite mask?
It's got a nice shape. It fits well, so it gives you a little distance, like coming down your nose. Your top lip isn't like getting all sweaty and feeling the cloth and the fabric touching you. It holds a filter, so you can put an N95 filter in there. So you've got 2 layers of cloth and a filter inside the pocket. So, or 2 layers of material. Awesome. Yeah, it's nice. I don't necessarily want to plug the company, but it's like, an online print type place that just got into this, along with a billion other people when all this started happening.
I will say,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brev.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I don't think I've gotten into fashion masking yet. I think I will in the future, but I think my big thing about the masks is the ear tension for me. I struggle a lot with like tension around the ears, to the point where it's like really hard for me to wear over the ear headphones. On top of that, I have eczema, but that's besides the point.
Well,
but
now, and you also mentioned
like
you wear glasses normally too, right?
Yes, the tension from the glasses and the mask sucks.
Right. Yeah, you're suddenly your ears, who've just been like hanging out there doing nothing, are suddenly being asked to like carry groceries in. Could you take care of delivery? We got something coming from DoorDash, so if you're just hanging on my ears, I'll walk it in.
Yeah, then you got to nurse like a migraine the whole time while you're doing it too.
So
unfortunately,
wait, now you both know what black girls go through when we get our hair braided.
Oh no, I don't think I know anything close to that.
Because, oh my good God. Okay, this one was actually, my hair is not braided. I don't know, you can't really tell, but it's not braided. My hair is twisted.
Okay.
And that's something completely different. And I did not know that. So I have a hair braider and a hair twister.
Now, did you, I know we're going to get into movies at some point here. Did you watch Chris Rock's documentary, Good Hair?
I have not watched it. I've heard about it, and everything that I've heard is spot on.
Yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun, and it's great for, old straight cis white gender, whatever guys who are it's an excellent documentary.
You know what? I'm going to watch it tonight when we're done.
Right, cool.
You have convinced me. That's the one thing I can be peer pressured into doing, is watching a show.
Okay.
I got peer pressured into Tiger King.
Oh no.
I did not make it through Tiger King. Like, the first episode was on, and I kind of just started zoning out and eventually drifted off to sleep. And I was like, I'm fine. It's good.
I think I've met that guy.
Well, yeah, you're in Florida, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You probably shop with that guy.
No, I honestly think I met him years and years and years ago, before he was really famous. I honestly think I met him.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I was odd. So, but the reason why I wanted to talk TV shows today was something specific that happened this week.
Oh,
okay.
And I'm still in the fields. After 15 years, Supernatural ended.
Oh, I've got some friends who are very distraught about this. But they're getting a good send-off, is what is sort of the optimistic way of looking at it, from what I understand, because I'm not one of the Supernatural, I don't know if there's a name for it or anything like that. I know there are conventions. I know there are like huge fans, and a friend of ours is a big fan, and at least they know when they're going out, and they're able to do it on their terms, instead of just like back in season 9, someone goes, "We're not renewing you." And there's no conclusion.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, Grab.
Well, I was gonna say, I watched Supernatural for a bit when it first came out. I thought it was pretty cool, because it was that in Smallville at the time were the biggest draws, and so I got into Supernatural, and then I saw it through to the end of season 5, and I was like, oh, okay, the show can end. The show can end right here. No. This is where they could stop it.
No.
And then CW was like, no, so basically the main adventure ended, and then everything else after this is just the adventures of. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I stopped watching it for like a couple seasons, and then I forgot
So like,
the dude with the boyish haircut was going after Lilith, and they had this
You
episode
mean-
where
what do you mean, Sam?
there you go.
Boyish haircut. Okay, you know what? If you're gonna talk supernatural, at least talk it right.
It's been I swear to you, it's been like a decade since I've watched an episode of Supernatural.
Steve, just so you know, we fought over candy last week, so you know.
No, that's fine. Like I said, people get intense about this show, but I just love hearing a description from someone who's like, kind of casually talking about it, just like, yeah, the guy with the boyish haircut was hitting on Sarah, and you're just like, what?
Yes, because I want
to outrage.
Okay, I am one of those people that if you look under certain fandom, under the word fanatic, you will see a picture of me.
And Supernatural is one of them.
Supernatural is one of them. I'm like that about my Bears. I'm like that about my Blackhawks. I'm like that about my Cubs. So I will fight you.
I'm good. Whatever you want to say about Supernatural, it's your show.
I'm just gonna say it. I don't think most American television knows how to end well. I don't think we ever get good endings to like 95% of American television.
I'll agree with you.
Yeah, I'd agree. There's some exceptions that really stand out, like Breaking Bad. I think excellent conclusion to a series. And then there's some that show, Lost, I think, shows the other extreme, where it's just like, and then it was all a dream, or whatever.
The worst for me, and I want us to, if you can, while we're talking, each of you try to compile your best and worst TV show endings. The worst for me, the absolute worst, was Oz.
God, I don't even know if I saw the final episodes of Oz. I remember watching it and following it for a while, and then at some point, I don't know if it was like, oh yeah, somebody's going to get raped and somebody's going to get knifed. It's another episode of Oz.
Well, what was really funny about that, what was funny about that ending was right after the ending, Seinfeld hosted Saturday Night Live. And he did a skit about Oz's ending, which was much better than Oz's actual ending. So if you ever get a chance to see find that, Jerry Seinfeld on Saturday Night Live talking about Oz's finale and missing out on the makeup sodomy.
Okay. I'll see if those keywords bring up anything on the YouTubes.
And what's even weirder about the fact that we're talking about this is today on Twitter, I sent a tweet to Michael Alvarez from, I'm sorry, not Miguel, Kirk Acevedo. Excuse me, Kirk Acevedo, which is an actor from Oz.
Mm-hmm.
And he had posted a picture of himself working out, basically saying, all of the.
Oh my God, I know this actor.
Yes. So he put out a tweet with a picture of him in the gym, shirtless in shorts.
Okay.
And basically was like, all you Trump people who are coming at me, who are like threatening, who wanted to fight, whatever, bring it, bro. And so I looked at the picture. He has really skinny legs.
Oh, no.
So,
like Fat Joe skinny legs. It's very odd to look at.
I tweeted at him, you got chicken legs, but they're cute. And he liked it and he friended me.
Oh, nice.
So then, because I have no shame, everybody was teasing me about doing this. And Gravel backed me up. Everybody on Not Safe for Walks was tweeting at me, making fun of me for doing this. And they were like, he's going to DM you. He's going to DM you. And I'm like, no, he's not. No, since I've been on Twitter, I've not gotten one DM from a dude. Not one. They're like, oh, first time for everything. I preempted it. I DM'd him and I invited him to come on the show.
Have you heard back?
So basically,
I did not hear back, but I told him to watch this show. So, hi, Kirk.
I will say, so I was gonna mention his show, or one of the shows that he was in, actually, for my best and worst, before you even said anything, and I didn't piece the name together with the actor. So,
okay, what's yours?
So my best show is one of the best shows that I've watched. I'm a pretty big sci-fi TV nerd. I like sci-fi TV. One of the best TV shows that I've watched will forever be in my top 5, probably top 3. Fringe.
I know of it. Didn't watch it. Fringe. Good.
Oh my god, I loved Fringe. I forgot about that show. Wasn't Peter Dinklage on Fringe?
No, he wasn't. But there is an actor on there that sounds similar to him, so I know what you're talking about.
No, it's Peter Dinklage. I'm telling you.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up while you talk. I'm gonna, you know what,
was this Sci-Fi Channel?
Fringe. I'm sorry, Steve. What?
Was this Sci-Fi Channel? Fringe?
Or was this, I think it was Fox, actually.
Or ABC.
Fox. Okay.
Can you look up the show Fringe and see if Peter Dinklage was on it or who the little person was on that show, please? Thank you.
So, Leslie, you might know this, but season 4 of Fringe had this like very superhero-y type vibe that they never fully executed on with Olivia. And then they completely flipped the script in season 5 with this like future, we have to go to the future to save it and like all this other stuff, type timeline stuff. And it all worked out. And the funny part about that stuff was that we didn't know what was going to happen next season. It was kind of like, hey, this show's probably going to get canceled. And I think James Cameron worked it out with the network where he was like, let's do 100 episodes. That way it ties a nice bow on it and it's easy to market it and sell to other networks. So like, okay.
Syndication. Yeah.
Right. So he was like, they were like, okay, but if you're going to pitch it, it has to be within this season. So he throws a Hail Mary where the episode before the season finale of season 4 is just this completely takes place in the future. You don't know what the fuck is going on. It's completely unexpected. Great stuff. Then it cuts.
That.
Yeah. That's how they advertised for season 5 to get people excited, to make sure that it was gonna get the season 5 wrap up, and then they used season 5 to wrap up the show. It has its issues. I'm not saying season 5 doesn't have its issues, but I will say it was an enjoyable ride. I love it. Highly recommend that show. Fantastic stuff. I think Kirk Acevedo is actually in the first season too, as a really major character. It was actually a really awesome character that he played.
Were you on like fan pages and different boards and stuff, keeping up with like what people thought about different episodes and stuff like that?
No. So this was a show that I got recommended to by a friend. And I've had a couple people recommend me canceled TV shows and stuff like that. So I wholeheartedly was like, if it ends bad, it ends bad, right? I think a similar show that's like it, that tries to go like it, and then kind of sort of does its own thing, but then completely falters in the last season, is this show called Continuum, which is actually like a lefty type of political show, where it's in this weird space that took place between Occupy Wall Street and the Bernie Sanders campaign. So it has this weird like lefty message, but it doesn't actually doesn't outwardly say it all the time. But they have stuff like, oh, Monsanto, there's this company called San Monto that's dumping toxic fluids in this one area. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll have stuff like that. So it's pretty awesome.
So that's the one
but yeah, I completely failed the last season.
Wait, that's the one with the space cop or the
future cop, yeah.
Yes.
That goes back to the past, yeah.
Oh my god, I love that show.
Yeah, I didn't think it ended well at all. No. But I think the absolute worst that I was keeping up with on the every season or whatever was Game of Thrones. What a way to just completely shatter an entire fan base within 2 seasons.
I'm one of those who liked it.
You like the way it ended?
Yeah.
I'm going to say I didn't because it was too out of character for a bunch of the characters. And when my wife asked me, she was like, well, how would you have fixed it? I was like, well, really, honestly, it begins with season 6 before it even starts with season 7. I think they started going wrong in season 6. But I mean,
then
you had that dichotomy route, right?
They were basically just off book at that point. Like seasons 1 through 5, wasn't that the stuff that had been written?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then basically after that, they were kind of like, we've got some notes and we've got some ideas from, George, R.R. Martin, whatever. And then it was just like, and everything just happened in weird,
So Steve,
just weird ways.
Steve, you've been a professional actor for how long?
I first credits on IMDb are probably back in 2003 or so, 2004, I'd guess. 15, 16 years, but I was actually an extra in Patch Adams, a zillion years ago, just because it happened to be shooting close to where I lived.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Raleigh, North Carolina at the time. It was shooting in Chapel Hill at the university over there, or at some different locations. And so ended up working in the background for a little while and meeting and talking to Robin Williams, which was cool.
Okay, cool.
But, yeah, I've been around for a while doing that. Professional comedy before that. Radio DJ, little of this, little of that. Mostly nothing responsible or that you could tell your girlfriend's parents about.
I hear that. Absolutely.
Okay, I don't have a great retirement plan, but it's fun. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I mean, what got you into acting in the first place?
I was actually coming out to Los Angeles. I did stand-up comedy for a little over a decade and was coming out to Los Angeles to try and get on some shows, get some management, things like that going, because I'd been on the road, basically working from the East Coast. And got out here with my wife at the time, and she hated it, apparently. I'm in Los Angeles, close to Hollywood, etc. And she took off, left me. I was in an emotional lurch and ended up making a short film sort of based on the situation, trying to do my stand-up and continue writing new material based on what was happening. But that got depressing. And then wrote a short film and produced that and acted in that, and actually did pretty well with that, which really encouraged me to keep making some films and doing some different projects, working with different people.
Did you go through independent? Did you go to independent film festivals and stuff like that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the first film I did, I just put together. I had taken a class by a guy named Dove Simmons. I don't know if you're familiar with his stuff. He travels the country and has a sort of a collection of articles that he's put together along with some of his own advice and all this. And he sells himself as doing a weekend seminar, and you will learn how to write and shoot a movie. And it's kind of true, although it's all just given to you in very big chunks. His first thing is you need a script, write a script. Okay, next you need to get a cameraman. It's no, wait, write a script is huge. Write a script is that's years of work for some people. It's write a script. Okay, next, get famous. But I had gone and taken this course, so I sort of knew some of the basics of who you have to put together to have a team. I had a story, so I actually had written a script and just put that together. After I'd finished it, started sending it out, or while it was in the progress, started sending it out to festivals and got accepted into some, which made it easier to get soundtrack music, because once you've got some festivals ahead of you, you can say, hey, I need some music to put behind this film to beef it up a little bit. And it's already got festival love coming its way. And so I got some good music, met some great bands that way. One of the guys went on to he's a member of 9 Inch Nails now, which was pretty cool. And got the movie finished, got out of some festivals, actually ended up the film was one of the more successful short films of 2005. So that's how far back I'm going back to, like, pat myself on the back. I was really good 15 years ago. You guys should have been there.
And I'm back.
Yeah. Notice you had sort of dropped away, but I didn't know what all goes on. So
okay, this is Into the Abyss. So we are dealing with space-time continuum issues. And apparently I dropped into a wormhole and I'm back.
Came out the other side. That's good.
And I'm not stretched. So, that's good. So I was getting ready to ask you, Steve, since you've been active for so long, have you been in a series finale?
No. No, I was in a penultimate episode, like the episode before the last of a web series, which I can't even remember the name of now. But they were shooting towards doing the last episode, shooting several things at the same time because everybody's just trying to save money. So you get a location, you get your cast and everybody together, and you shoot as much crap as you can, and then you move on and on to the next thing. So, but haven't been a part of that. I was a part of a comedy club that closed down the weekend I was working there. That was kind of interesting.
What club?
It was a club out in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina years ago. And I don't think, like Comedy Cabana? No. There's one of those down in South Carolina. I cannot remember the name of it offhand.
That's okay.
Atlantic Beach Comedy Club, something like that. But they had brought in Shirley Hemphill from What's Happening.
Yeah.
She played the waitress.
So wait. So remember, we're gonna come back to this. But how old are you, Steve?
I'm in my 50s. I'm 58.
You're 58. So Ren, you owe me money. We'll come back to this in a minute. And
but I lie about it on the internet. So if he was going by any information on the internet, 50. 51.
No, you made yourself younger than me, bitch.
I did it years ago. I was like getting on the internet going like, well, this is going to be what people will go to for information someday. So I chopped 7 years off ages ago.
Yeah. So as we were trying to get information, I said, I want to talk about certain things. And I was going to do a whole segment. And I don't know if you've seen this, but if you've ever seen, you can see the progression of the American Police Department going from helpful neighbor to weaponized military in Legos.
Oh God. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I asked Ren, can you pull this video or anything so that we can talk about it? And the video is it's too long. But it goes by years. So I said, all right, that's fine. So Ren decided they were going to pull out the years that we were born.
Okay.
Ren knows how old I am, right, Ren? If you can can you pull us out, Ren, please? So Ren knows how old I am. Ren knows how old Grav is. I didn't know how old you were. So
I barely do.
But Ren went to pull whatever, the Lego thing from the year you were born, but the year you were born on IMDb says you were born in 1969.
Yes.
This confused me. I'm not gonna lie, this confused me as well because like I Googled your name because I was like, I want to see if I can come up with like specific questions to ask him, and then like I kept getting mixed results and mixed information, so I was confused as hell.
Right. So Ren comes to me and they're like, so, and Gen Zer, because you're a boomer, and so you don't understand this.
No, I don't understand computers.
No. No,
I know.
Gen Z is the forgotten generation. We're constantly being ignored. So Sorry.
Sorry.
So the year that I was born, there's no new Legos.
Oh, okay.
In 1969, there's no new Legos,
Bastard.
which is the year that IMDb says you were born.
Right.
So
There's a classmate of mine from high school, by the way, who hates this conversation. It bothers her so badly that I'm on like any place like younger than her for some. I have no idea why. She's a teacher in the Midwest. I do not know why. That she'll make a point of like introducing you. Go for it. Sure.
People would do that. People would do that. People would just go on the internet and lie.
So Rain comes at me and says there's no new Legos for 67, which is my year. Okay. And there's no new Lego set for 69. And I said, who was born in 69? And she said, Steve. And I said, bullshit, he's older than me.
You are correct, madam.
And so she and I are going back and forth, and I'm like, I know this motherfucker's older than me. Don't wait. Did I lose time? Am I getting something? So I was like all discombobulated. And so I said, no, okay. I know I'm right. So I've got to Steve.
Yes, you've confessed it out of me. Yeah, I ran that way for a while, and actually it was helpful in like because LA and Hollywood are so age centric. It was very helpful for a time. And then at some point with the commercial agent that I currently have, he was like, do you color your hair? And I was like, yeah, because at the time I did. And he was like, what's your natural color? I go, I have no idea at this point, but it was salt and pepper when I started coloring. And he goes, let it go natural, see what it is, and it may work to get you more roles. And so I did, and it has worked all right. I mean, I've gotten booked here and there. And it's, but I've just never gone back. Like you have to go through a process on IMDb if you want to change your birth date for some reason. So it was like, I think there was a case a little while back where some actresses sued IMDb because they were showing like their actual age or something like that under date of birth, and they didn't want that information out there. So there's a little process you have to go through to get it changed. And I just haven't bothered. I don't care. But I never realized. So my apologies to Ran and to you. And yeah.
See, you don't mind, but you're pissing women off around the world.
And I just like to say,
truly untold powers. Where can I find it?
Never want to upset women, so I just want to say sorry, chicks. No,
I'm sorry. I know that was long and convoluted, but it was just I literally thought I was crazy for a while because I'm like, I know.
You did go through a wormhole.
Yes, and I'm like, am I in a parallel universe where Steve is younger than me? Did that happen? I drink a lot and I do a lot of weed. So, and here's the other thing. I don't smoke weed really. Like I'm hitting this vape. I don't know why I'm hitting this vape because it does absolutely nothing for me. Like nothing.
Yeah. I don't get much from the vapes as well. I use different stuff.
No, and I'll cover the name of the company. Ooh, look at you. So what are we imbibing in, Steve?
This is a water filtrated marijuana or a tobacco smoking device.
Yeah.
It's from a dude named Henry Hemp, who was out here in Los Angeles, would end up at a lot of like weed events, pro weed legalization, all that kind of stuff, and just had a big cannabis leaf on his head. And at one point I was trying to get a reality series with him and his family sold. And so he ended up giving me some of his glassware, which was very nice.
Nice. But what are we smoking instead?
You were going to like try to get this guy a TV show based on his life?
Yes. Yeah. Reality TV. It seemed like a pretty natural thing, although it was still at the point where weed was not quite as legal as it is now. It was still in like the medicinal stage here in California.
So it was still edgy.
Yeah, it was still a little too edgy for them to like pick up and try to sell. Nowadays, it'd probably be fine. But so let's see. I'm actually imbibing something that is called pro cake.
What is that?
Like you could ever be anti cake. It is. Let's see. Is it an indica? I think it's an indica. Just cannabis flower. We get it in little packets out here. They do it by eighths. They do it sometimes in glass jars, which just seems very wasteful. Hang on a second here. So you get a glass jar this size to get an eighth of a gram of weed. And it's like I feel certain that whoever was involved in the regulations and the legalization process, somebody who makes glass jars was sure to put this in as one of the requirements before Proposition whatever could pass.
Here in Florida, everything's still in plastic,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still medical. So what is an eighth run in California of good, decent shit?
It depends, really. I mean, you can get it anywhere from like probably 35 to 70 and up for like an eighth. But you can get deals as well. You can get like a half ounce for $100 of decent buds. Like the older, drier stuff as it's going out, there's like a whole rotation and system and everything that goes on.
I still haven't been out there since everything's been legal. I think because I didn't smoke. I quit when I was 13. Didn't start again until 2 weeks before I turned 50. So
that's good. You gave yourself a little break.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good tea break.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll definitely hit a lot harder for coming from a tea break like that.
It just hasn't been hitting me quite as good. I'm not able to keep my grades up in algebra. I think I'll give it a rest for a while. Cut to, well, I'm going to have to put in for Social Security fairly soon. Maybe I should buy a new bag.
Actually, what I am now imbibing in, and I will put my finger over the company, but it's THC pills.
Oh, okay. Is it THC or CBD?
No, this is THC.
Okay.
This is pure THC. Each of these tabs are 50 milligrams of THC.
And now for when you take those, is it like an all over body relaxant? Does it put you to sleep?
Well, you can get indica, sativa, or a hybrid leaning in either direction.
Right.
These are sativas because I don't sleep. So I take 2 to 4 of these every night.
Right.
So I take 100 to 200 milligrams of THC every night just to sleep. And but before I sleep, oh my God, it's fun.
And didn't I see you posting on Facebook something the other day about like, how'd I wake up here? So I think now I have a little better clue.
Well, okay. Add to that, I'm a natural sleepwalker.
Yeah, I think you were saying something about that, but I didn't know what you like to reveal. So.
Oh no, I'm okay. Stand up. You know, we thing is fair game. I used to wake up in the weirdest fucking places.
Excuse me?
Grab was like, pardon. Let me get my notepad.
I used to wake up in my kids' rooms often. After my first husband left, I did what I started calling country music sleepwalking.
Oh my God.
I was into country
line dancing.
No, I was into country music at the time, and I lived in Texas. And so, that was our huge house. We had built this 3,600 square foot house, 5 bedrooms, 4 full baths. The house was huge. We had 6 televisions. And every night before I went to bed, you know, after I put the kids to bed, because when my first husband left, my kids were 9 and 14. So every night after I put them to bed, and I was a garage person, so I would hang in the garage and talk to the neighbors and that kind of shit. Right. And I had a TV in the garage too. So every night before I went to bed, I would walk the house and turn off all the TVs and turn off all the lights. For a good 2 months, because of my anxiety, and that's when I sleepwalk, is when I'm really stressed out. So for 2 months, I was waking up. Every TV in the house would still be on,
Oh
Every
my
light in
God.
the house would be on, except for in the boys' rooms. And every TV would be turned to CMT.
They finally got you.
Every morning for 2 months.
Wow.
Jesus.
It's like a nightmare scenario, right, Grav?
Yeah.
It was
Who did this to me? It's me.
well,
The
and that's
painful images are coming from inside the house.
that's
I
the
get
thing.
annoyed when the hallway light along the staircase is left on at night. I could only imagine if all the lights were on and all the televisions were on.
And that's the thing. I didn't realize at first that I was doing it. So I wake up every morning going, what the fuck is going on? Until about 3 weeks in. And I woke
Who
up.
explained it to you?
No, I woke up and I was sleeping on my stomach. And my chest was hurting. And I was like, what the fuck? So I pushed up and I had stuffed the remote in my pajama box. I mean, my pajama top.
Oh my God.
No idea. And then I figured out that I had been doing it myself. But I should have known that because I am notorious. I'm also, besides a sleepwalker, I'm a sleep shopper. I'm a sleep cooker.
Do you have like a diagnosis of sleep disorder or something that you can, like, will a company take a return if you say, I ordered this while I was asleep?
That's not the kind of sleep shopper I am. So
okay.
Actually
That's a nightmare scenario for me,
No.
actually. If I was to be one of those people, oh my God.
Like where you would have to go back
I'm
and go,
already
I was just
bad
editing.
enough about shopping on Amazon. I deleted my Amazon account because I had a shopping addiction.
Oh, wow.
No, I physically sleep shop.
So you go out to a store?
So for 2 months, I was waking up, and I'm not a snacker. I'm not big on chips and stuff like that. Like that was never in my house, except for this 2-month period. And I would go to bed, and then I would wake up surrounded by bags of open chips that I'd been eating while I was asleep that weren't in my house when I went to bed.
Sleepy Leslie thinks you deserve a break.
Yes. I started my car in the garage.
Ooh.
Had to call in the middle of my divorced husband.
Oh my God.
And go, hey, I slept walk last night because you stressed me out. And I turned on the car and now my battery's dead. Can you come jump me?
Oh,
my in the middle of divorce husband and his father who hates me had to come to my house and jump my car in the garage because I slept walked and I turned my car on.
So you were sleepwalking because of stress?
Yeah, that's when I said okay. When I went to my 30-year class reunion, who I'm gonna name drop, Billy Corrigan came just for me.
no. He was in your class?
At least that's what he told me. At the first night back in Chicago, I was found naked in a stairwell.
Oh my God.
So we're going to blame this on sleepwalking. Is that what we're going with, Leslie? Sleepwalking? Okay.
Is this not an alcohol problem?
No, I had just got here. I hadn't drunk. It wasn't like I hadn't.
Right.
This is what happens when you quit weed. You should have never quit.
Somewhere 25 years after that last bowl, you suddenly get naked and just wake up anywhere. It's weird.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens now. So when I go to hotels, I have to warn the front desk.
God,
wow. Oh, yeah.
I have to warn the front desk. I'm like, look, I sleepwalk, and I've done it naked. And I've done it in a hotel. If I come walking by naked, just know I'm asleep.
And what is the preferred method? Like when somebody's dealing with a sleepwalker, they're not supposed to disturb you, is what colloquially I've always known. What's
Yes.
the truth?
You just kind of maneuver us back to where we need to go.
Make sure you don't get
Really?
hurt, basically.
Yeah, because I have hurt myself. I've tried
I can imagine.
I've tried to walk through a bathtub in my house, and the only reason I know that I did it was when I woke up the next morning and I tried to get out of bed, and I had fallen in like face first into the bathtub, but I didn't remember it.
Ooh.
So when I woke up the next morning and tried to get out of bed, both of my knees were the size of softballs, but I just woke up. So I go to step out of bed and I hit the floor.
Ooh.
Because of my arthritis and my knees are so swollen. And then I look at my legs and my legs were covered. Like I literally lost all the skin off my shins because I slid down the bathtub.
Ow,
And
ow.
so like this is what I have to do sometimes. I had to like reverse engineer what happened.
You're a Kurosawa film.
Yes. So
you have to go backwards and figure out how the story worked out.
Yes. So the sheets are stuck to the dried blood on my calves.
Ooh.
And then I'm on the floor at this point. So I look and there's a trail of blood from my bed to the bathroom. And then I had a flash of a memory of I went to the bathroom and something made me try to go forward instead of turning left to leave the bathroom. So going forward is straight into the tub.
Oof.
And I tried to do that and it didn't work. So I slid down the side of the tub, hit my forehead on the tub. So I've got this big knot on my head. I've got no skin on my calves. Like on my shins, and my knees are the size of softballs.
I'm just glad you're okay.
This is the shit that I wake up to sometimes.
I mean, you could have easily like just the whole grill just gone.
Oh, it's
possible. Just the way you hit.
Oh, yeah, wow. It's absolutely possible. I have woken up, I don't know how many times, with like a big knot on my forehead because I've tried to walk through a wall. And I've been doing this since I was little. My parents found me, we lived on a 3rd floor apartment, and my parents found me walking in through the parking lot naked when I was like 6. Because I slept off, and and here's the other thing. When you sleepwalk, you know everything that you know when you're awake.
You can access that? You could access your memories and knowledge like that? That's interesting.
People have gotten out of murder, rapes, like all kinds of crimes who are people who are definite sleepwalkers because you know how to do everything that you do when you're awake, but your subconscious is dreaming.
That's crazy.
You're doing shit like you're dreaming, but you appear wide awake.
You're firing all the synapses and stuff that it takes to do whatever you're doing in the dream in real life. So you're walking to wherever you were going to when you went through the tub.
Yeah, like so what happened to me at my class reunion, how I found out was at my actual class reunion.
Oh no.
Yeah. So my last husband, my second husband, was talking to the husband of a classmate. And I had walked past him, hearing him tell the story of what I did.
What the
betrayal. And I went, I did what? And Patrick was like, yeah, security found you in a stairwell naked and they came and got me and I said, I did? And he said, yeah, we had a whole conversation. I said, Patrick, when I'm sleepwalking, if you're talking to me, I'm not awake. But he thought that I was. So he and I had a whole conversation about it, but he thought I was awake and I was still asleep.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Now, going back to the time when your folks found you when you were 6,
Mhm.
Do you know if that was a stressful time, like in your family life at that point?
I don't remember, but
Yeah.
I can remember when I realized that I was doing it, and I was in high school, and there were stressful things happening in my house, and I had a
Mhm.
girlfriend sleeping over, and I woke myself up screaming.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's a fun sleepover for the guest.
Yeah. I was having an argument with my parents in my head, and I woke myself cursing my parents out, which
Oh
woke
my.
her up.
Oh no.
Mhm. Yeah, my sleep patterns. Oh, and here's the other thing, because I sleep eat and I sleep cook. Do you know how many plates of food I have woken up in? Like this was a big thing when I was single in between my first two husbands. Waking up in a face full of peanut butter crackers.
Yummy.
Good for the complexion, though. I think the oils.
Yeah, and and my favorite thing to sleep cook, cinnamon rolls.
Ooh. Like just a can of them, or like from scratch.
No.
A can, yeah.
And I'd wake up in the morning and go, "Oh, it smells like cinnamon rolls," and I'd go, "Oh my God." My kids loved it. Oh my God. They were like, "Mommy, you sleepwalking. You made us cinnamon rolls." I was like, "Okay."
Kids just trying to stress you out through the whole week so they get cinnamon rolls on Saturday.
You you know what? My kids, because my youngest tried to sell me to a group of Germans at the Renaissance Fair for tickets. So yeah, yeah, I could totally see that.
Mm.
So back to what we were talking about.
Were we
Steve,
talking about something? What?
see, this is how the show goes. Um, you never gave what was your worst TV show ending for you?
Worst.
Oh, and while you're thinking I'll let you think
Yeah.
a little bit more, because Oz was my first.
Mhm.
Sopranos.
Sopranos was pretty bad.
How I
Definite
Met Your
letdown.
Mother.
I didn't watch that show, so I didn't see that.
Yeah, I didn't make that one to the end. Watched it, off and on through some seasons.
Yeah, I think normally people quit around the one where the father dies and the whole entire season is around that guy's depression.
Is that How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah, that's How I Met Your Mother. I think
Yeah.
that's season 5.
I've
of How I Met
never
Your Mother.
seen an entire episode of that show.
Season
So
3 maybe. Yeah, it's one of those shows that gets completely invalidated by the way it ends, because the whole shtick about their show is like, this is how I met your mother.
Right.
And like the guy telling the kids that, like, the story. And
Right.
the way it ends is like,
do they ever
Spoiler alert.
the
Spoiler
mother?
alert, everybody.
the mother died or whatever, and he never quite got over it, but he was in love with Auntie Robin, who was his ex-girlfriend.
I remember Robin. Okay.
Yeah. He ends up with Robin at the end, and the kids are like, you should go ask her out again because she's single. And Barney went to go. I think Barney got some woman pregnant, and the spinoff was going to be the themed potential spinoff was going to be How I Met Your Father.
I'm so glad
Barney.
they didn't do that. I'm so glad they didn't do that. So, Steve, what is your worst?
Probably the Flintstones. You know, when those kids in bed rock, when the meteors hit, I thought at first it was going to be like a nice touch, but the dishwasher died, the garbage disposal died. I don't know. The most disappointing is when like it's a series you love and it just ends, and it doesn't get that last season. It doesn't get to wrap up in any satisfying kind of way.
Yeah, canceled. Yeah, that's
like Firefly was a great series. I enjoyed like the season of Firefly or whatever, and then just gone.
You got Serenity out of it though.
True.
Yeah,
and they were talking about doing another, I think, Firefly movie, maybe.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So we actually got a Firefly ending with Serenity.
Okay.
Sort of.
More closure, yeah,
Sort
like
of.
a little more.
It's not as good as did either one of you guys watch Sense8?
I watched season 1 of Sense8 and like the first 2 episodes of season 2. I do want to finish that show though because I
You
love it.
need to. They wrapped that up really well.
I was really impressed by the beginning of season 2 as well. We just never got around to it.
I am a big baby. The one place you will get me to cry is a TV show or a movie. And when I say cry, we're talking snot, ugly. I don't give a fuck what I look like at the end of and Sense8.
I could see that. Yeah, because season 1 was an emotional tearjerker as well. Fantastic show made by the Wachowski sisters. Awesome stuff. Love it.
And like, wasn't it one of the early like 4K shows or something that went out?
Yes, Netflix
Like,
was
I
touting
remember
it as like one of their best originals, which it's true. It was one of their best originals.
So I want to go to best endings. For me, 6 Feet Under.
Okay. Good. Yep. Good.
They wrapped everyone up for a decade.
I'm gonna tie mine up with my plug for the week, which is I'm gonna say Power Rangers Zeo. Just because it's a recent memory of mine, but easily like one of the best conclusions to a fantastic person, which is what you call it, the person who played Jason. He was going through like series of homelessness and all this other stuff after leaving the show, and there was a bunch of like labor issues involved too,
because
he wanted to get paid more.
Like that.
Yep. And then he comes back on the show for Power Rangers Zeo, where he plays the Gold Ranger. And it's just a fantastic, every episode he's in, his performance is a 10 out of 10. The way they send off that character, just amazing overall. I thought it was a fantastic season wrap up.
Okay, Steve.
Nice.
Steve.
I did.
No, Steve, just so you know,
yes.
Grav does a show called Sentai Truther Club, where Grav explains Sentai Truther Club.
We're reviewing every season of the Power Rangers straight from the beginning. We are currently so the episodes of Power Rangers Zeo, I think, speaking of, we're getting our season review of Power Rangers Zeo coming out on Monday, and I gotta say, it's an emotional one. Like, Kennedy and I were like straight up Kennedy and I were straight up like gonna like we're like fighting back tears talking about the season.
Okay,
how beautiful it was.
Steve, just so you know, I did their show last week.
Okay.
Because I turned, like I told you off air, we'll talk about it again. Grav is my virtual kid. Grav looks exactly like my oldest child and is 2 days younger. And I turned my oldest onto Power Rangers when he was 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was into the way that they were doing it, because it was like the old Godzilla movies.
Right.
Yeah.
So I did Grav's show last week.
This episode hasn't been released yet, by the way. It's gonna come out. It's like a week or two from now.
I want to talk about. So I told Grav that I wanted to do Sentai Truther Club because I wanted to talk about Power Rangers because I was into it, when it first started. But his ass decided to put me on this week to talk about Zeo, which he's talking to you about it now like it's a good thing. It's not. It's not.
I was actually pretty favorable on the movie, and by favorable I mean I gave it like a 5 out of 10. Leslie over here gave it a goose egg.
I didn't. I gave it a 2.
A 2.
Are you looking at it? Are you looking at it for the intended audience, which is kids and not adults? Because
I don't think Leslie was. She was just like, I don't like any of this. This is garbage. You got to put me on for a different episode, not this.
That is cool.
That's basically what happened.
Yes, I got all butthurt. I was like, I want to talk about this one. I want to talk about this one. I like, God damn it. What's wrong with you? Why would you talk about this one? I don't like this one. Yeah, that's basically, I got all babyish. And
it was fun stuff, though. It was fun stuff, though. Thank you for coming on, Leslie, again.
And thank you for having me. And speaking of which, we have done an hour without even thinking.
Oh.
Yes, so, Steve, go ahead and plug in your stuff.
Wait.
Got it. I'm waiting.
Steve.
Yes.
Would you like to do our post game and talk comedy dirt?
Ooh.
Sure. I'm up for a little bit of that. Stand-up comedy stories. Yeah.
And Steve's older than me. Steve, I don't know.
So important.
He's older than me. While looking over there, like there's someone there. Steve is a professional, and Steve has comedy dirt. So if you want comedy dirt, subscribe. Okay, go ahead.
Where can we find you online, Steve?
Hanging out mostly on Twitter, Instagram, post up some pictures once in a while. It's just at Steve Gelder. Very easy to find me any place you go. Pretty much the same if you're looking on Facebook or Pinterest. I think I may still have a Pinterest account. So yeah, check it out there. I post a lot of political stuff. I try and keep it humorous, but I get angry. So
okay.
So you post political stuff. This is a very left-leaning network. Are you in the right space, Steve?
Oh, very much so. I'm probably further left than most of the network. I was at like the Occupy Wall Street. Maybe not.
No. You don't even understand.
Hey, but Steve, I might have seen you there. I was at Occupy myself.
Were you? Okay, cool. What group were you like involved with? What committee or anything?
So I came in late in the game because I was trying to be a journalist at the time. So I was trying to document things. Yeah, very interesting stuff. But yeah, man, that's awesome. I'm glad to see it.
Stop! This is content.
Sorry.
Shut up, everybody. This is content.
Steve Gelder, Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe to what Leslie's got going on here with Grav. There you go. More of the show. Yes.
And we're gonna talk more. We're gonna talk
in the post
show. So Grav, your shit.
You could find me on Twitter at Gravcast. All caps when you say the name. You can also check out my podcast, Sentai Truther Club, at Sentai Truther. On Twitter, we're releasing the season review for Power Rangers Zeo this coming Monday.
Awesome. That's very awesome. And so, if you want to subscribe and you want to hear this really racy content in the post that we're going to do, patreon.com/IntoAbyssPod. We are also on YouTube, and that's YouTube/Not Safe for Wonks Media. Oh, I'm sorry, Not Safe Media. And then what the fuck is our Patreon? Oh, it's right in front of me. Patreon. Okay, I have taken one of these.
Are you sleep podcasting? Is that what's going on right now?
Yes. Podcasting. Into Abyss Pod.
There we go.
If you're enjoying this, please subscribe. Please join us in the post game, and please come back next week. Now, next week is kind of a different kind of thing because Grav has family coming, so I don't think he'll be there. We may have a bunch of people from Not Safe Media jumping in and out. I will definitely be here, and we have a special guest next week. Ren, can you put that on the screen, please? Next week, Into the Abyss, we have Sophie Wright, and she is a professional mermaid out of the UK.
Pretty
She
awesome.
swims in the tanks like in clubs and things?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I've never talked to a professional mermaid. And as a little girl who wanted to grow up to be a mermaid, this is like a dream come true for me. And I'm an Anglophile. So, a British mermaid,
Nice.
that's my dream.
You would throw
So,
your ship on the rocks any day for this lady.
absolutely. Absolutely. So,
Awesome.
we will go into the post game, but for tonight, thank you so much for watching. From me, Leslie, Grav,
Have a great night, everyone.
we'll see you in a minute. Where'd everybody go? Ren?
There we go.
How come I can